So now we've got it up on the screen, Lou, so I'll let you take it away.
Okay. So yes, so now we have the distribution of department expenditures by category. And as I mentioned, we have 2019 and budget and actuals for historical context, and we're going to go through the 2020 budget. And we've broken it down by three main categories for simplicity. And those are personnel costs, and then services and supplies, and lastly, fleet maintenance and replacement. And these are the three main categories of the department budget. And the first thing that should stand out to everybody is that basically 94% of the police department's budget is personnel related. And the first one being just salaries, which constitutes nearly 50%. But then we have pension costs, which is 27% at approximately $11 million. The benefits is $4.6 million, and $3 million of that is health insurance. There are payouts and then overtime. And that constitute 94% of the police department's budget.
What does payouts mean? I think people understand all those, but maybe not payouts.
Yes. Payouts are a variety of required payouts, meaning payouts to members of the force that are required by union contract or by law. And they could be three main categories. There's sick leave payouts, vacation payouts, and comp time payouts.
Okay.
And the majority of those are required by union contract. So,
got it.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Next, we have services and supplies. And this is the next biggest category at $1.5 million. And the first one is liability insurance, and that is a transfer from the police department budget to the insurance fund of the city to cover liability expenses that occur. The next major cost is the body-worn camera program. So that's approximately $300,000 a year, followed by training at $160,000 a year. And what I would like to point out is that the police department has doubled its budget for training in the last 5 years. In 2015, the police department's budget was only approximately $77,000 for training. So it has doubled in the last 5 years. Memberships at $116,000. The main one there is for the crime lab membership for all the, what would you call it? All
the analysis of evidence.
Analysis of evidence. And that crime lab is membership annually is approximately $100,000. Now we have Nexus animal shelter grants at $100,000, and that is part of the police department budget because animal control is part of the police department budget. Next largest expense is janitorial supplies at approximately $60,000, and that's for the maintenance of the police department building. And then last we have all other services and supplies at basically $500,000, and that's everything else that the police needs to keep the organization running. And then lastly is the major category is fleet maintenance and repair at $900,000, which is basically all the vehicles the police needs to do its job. So that is a quick summarization of the expenditures of the department, and the total expenditures are $41.1 million.
All right, so let's keep on this page for a second. Chief, I noticed that that budget, right, for 2020 is 6% above the budget for 2019. If I did my math right, it was a 6% increase, pretty significant. And where we're seeing that, so if you're watching, from home, there's a big jump in salaries. All right, that's related to union contracts and agreements that are given in terms of people making more. There's a significant, almost $800,000 uptick in pension costs, and we're going to come back. I want to talk pensions a little more so people understand those numbers as they fold into our police budget. And then payouts was a big jump. I mean, payouts was $800,000 increase there. So, Chief, could you that's a pretty big increase, 6%. Could you talk to, and I know the Chief's been with us now for 18 months as our police chief, but can you talk to us about the growing budgets in policing. You were the chief in Glenwood before you were here. That increase that we're seeing in budgeting as crime is going down, as the professor mentioned.
Yes, sir. Well, a lot of the increase comes through salary increases, which are negotiated through union negotiations. So this past year, the officers were given a 0% raise. They agreed to that, but they were, in exchange for that, they were given, I think, 7 additional comp days that they could utilize to be off, carry over, and eventually get paid out at. Now, what happens with that type of benefit is it increases over time. So if I don't utilize my comp time days this year and I'm allowed to carry them over, and then I get a raise, then that comp time money increases. So that is one issue. The other issue is the ever-growing compounded rate of pensions. If you get a pension after 20 years at 50%, when you reach the age of 55, you would get a 15% increase in your pension. Between 50 and 55 is no increase, but when you make 55 years of age, you get a 15% increase, and then each year after that, it's a 3% raise until you pass away. So it's a lifetime pension. That is a constitutional issue that has been in effect for a number of years. The money that is reflected in the police budget, $11 million for pension payouts, is money that the city has to pay in order to keep the pension fund solvent. Now, the police officers, their 9% of their salary is taken out of their check every day, or every pay period, for their share of pension costs. But over the years, I can go back 40 years now. 35 years ago, the government was supposed to pay down the pension costs to become zero in what they owe. That never happened. The legislature gave government another 30 years, which we're still in now, for them to come up solvent with the pension fund. So those are the really big issues related to costs. The other big ticket item in the budget that I'm really cognizant about is the cost of police vehicles. Evanston has a lot of trucks. We have a lot of the Ford Explorers, fully equipped. You're looking at probably a $45,000 vehicle. That's with a computer, a radar, and things of that nature that are installed, lights installed in the vehicle. So I've been looking at an alternative vehicle that's half the cost, and I ordered 5 of those. And my goal is to decrease the number of police vehicles we have. The other thing that I did when I was in Glenwood as a police chief was look at the joint vehicle purchase of vehicles with another municipality. If you come past the police department at night, you'll see 20 trucks lined out in the back, just sitting there waiting for the next day. If we can cut costs in terms of what we purchase by being in partnership with another municipality, I think that is a great way to go. Joint purchasing on a lot of things we could do, even radios, we can joint purchase. There's a lot of things you can do to cut this budget down.
Thank you, Chief.